Hey everyone, and welcome to the Landlord Studio Community Stories. This is all about showing the insights and learning from our community so you can learn to grow your real estate business firsthand from other successful landlords. Let's cue the intro. Before we get started, make sure you click the subscribe button below so you can get notified of each episode we release. And in today's episode, we are interviewing Zachary Weiss. Is that how I pronounce the last name?
Yep, you got it. You got it.
Awesome. How
Yeah.
are you going today, Zachary?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. A little bit sunny. Still kind of in lockdown here as well, but we're kind of getting past all of that now. So
Yeah.
awesome. So I just wanted to kind of dive right into it and kind of learn a bit about your rental journey and how you got started in investing in rental properties and yeah, just to hear a little bit about the challenges and maybe the accomplishments that you've had as well. So when and how did you start investing in rental properties to begin with?
Well, it was actually kind of a fluke. I ended up having a third daughter and needed to either expand on the house I was living in or figure out something. So we ended
Yeah,
up buying another house that was bigger, and the property I was living at actually had a big pole barn on it, and I wasn't really willing to sell it. So that's kind of my quick story into it. It was about 2 years ago now. My daughter's almost two, so it'll be almost 2 years ago since we've basically turned my old house into a rental.
nice.
And then it's been working.
Yep.
Had a few challenges,
Yeah.
but it's been working. So still trying to figure it all out though. It's definitely different. Definitely different.
Yeah. What's the biggest challenge that you've experienced so
So
far, I guess, with running rental properties?
um, so I guess the biggest one I've had so far is I had a renter who was a little disgruntled because, of course, that barn that I wanted to keep and have been storing my stuff in is I'm there not all the time, but I'm there quite regularly, and he was a little upset that I was there all the time, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you knew this coming in, dude, and I'm willing to work with you, So he gets texted quite often, and sometimes in the middle of the day, I'm like, hey, I'm swinging by to pick up this, but that's what he wanted, so I'll make you happy if that's what you want. So,
Nice.
um,
And have you, I guess, because you've just kind of started doing that, are you looking to try build your portfolio up over time? And what's your kind of long-term goals from doing this now?
yeah, so yeah, definitely build this up. I'm 2 years into this, so I'm still actually paying off the rental. So
Yeah,
once that
yeah,
happens, definitely gonna start looking real hard for a second one. I kind of look at this as a side retirement gig. I've got a long way to retirement, so I've got a few years to build these up. But I I'd, I'd like to get at least three more potentially before I
yeah,
retire. Maybe even a few more than that.
yeah,
Like it's not gonna be my main gig. Maybe it will be, but for
yeah.
now, just kind of a side thing is just to build up some side income. So
Yeah. I think the story is quite similar for a lot of members actually when they kind of just like end up as landlords or end up renting out their property and then they discover, hey, this is actually kind of cool and like I can actually generate some income from this. And then they
yeah,
decide that they want to, I guess, scale up their portfolio or start buying more properties. Is that kind of like what happened for you, or is that how you kind of see it now?
yeah. That's kind of how I see it now. I mean, I so my dad has a couple of rentals too, so I kind of had I wouldn't say experience, but kind of learned a little from his experiences, and he's only had them for a few years too, but um, learned a little bit from what he had to deal with, and then kind of figured, I think I can handle that, and so
Yeah.
when we bought our new house, we said let's try it, and um, it's been working out. So
Nice. How do you typically select tenants, or where do you go to market your rental properties? Have you just posted on like Zillow and Facebook Marketplace and places like that, or?
yeah, the funny thing is I don't Facebook at all. So,
Right.
uh,
Yeah.
but I do use Zillow, and that has been pretty much my only place that I've really posted on it, and it seems to have worked. I've got a couple of rental. I had a renter that had to leave early because he ended up losing his job and was moving out of town, and so I kind of let him out of the lease. But it's worked twice for me so far,
Yeah.
and it's worked really well, Zillow, as a way to advertise the property.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I know that there's a lot of different marketplaces, but Zillow tends to be the one that kind of most people use. I know you could go to like Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and all those sorts of ones, but Zillow tends to be I guess, the most systemized way of getting tenants in. So that's cool. Yeah.
And
What was
they
happening?
kind of
Sorry,
go
go on.
ahead. Go ahead. No,
Go, now you go on.
just Zillow's just the real. I mean, to me, it's like the real estate app or real
Yeah,
estate website. You know, and so it's kind of just
yeah,
if you're looking for either property to buy or to rent, it's just kind of a one place stop. That's the way I look at it.
yeah, totally. What was what was kind of happening in your rental business or with your rental properties when you decided to look for a solution like Landlord Studio? What was your kind of main goal for getting the software to manage your properties?
The big thing I was looking for is someplace I could store all of my receipts, my income, my expenses, um, track my mileage. I mean, I'm looking at this as a tax write-off at the same time too. At least in the
Yeah,
U.S., we can write off all of our expenses as against the income. So,
yeah,
um, a way to do that was my big thing of looking for some sort of software to manage that. And I had tried another one that was free, but like I'd saved the receipts, but I couldn't like retrieve them. It like stored them in this weird file format that I couldn't ever see again. So I was like, well, what good is that? I mean,
yeah,
yeah, it saved the expenses for me, but I couldn't ever see the receipts. So I was like, well, what did I spend all that on? There was just I couldn't break it down any more than that. So I had to start looking for something else. And
yeah. Did you start managing properties on like a spreadsheet and or like keeping your paper receipts in like a shoebox or things like that? I hear this is quite a common story.
yeah, I never, I didn't do the spreadsheet thing. I found like I said, I found that free one right away, and it just was not working. It was real, just basic, and it wasn't intuitive at all. It was a real struggle. I probably would have been better doing a spreadsheet, to be honest with you. But
Yeah.
and I'm still a little old school. I still save all my receipts at least till tax season comes around, and then it's kind of like, all right, now I can throw it away because if the tax
Mm.
man comes after me, you know, oh well, now they're gone.
I
But at least I save them all till then, and just to kind
I
of
think
reference
that's
back.
probably
But
quite important though to at least have your physical copies as well as digital copies. So
yeah,
you've got that paper trail, but you're also kind of backing it up in the cloud as well.
yep.
For people that I guess are not so worried or so focused about managing the numbers or tracking expenses, what advice would you give them about, I guess, just like the importance of doing that from your perspective?
Um, the tax write off is nice. I mean, like last year, I posted very little profit, and just I was able to purchase a few things that I used them for the rental. I mean, that's the reason I bought them. But like, it was like, hey, I could also use that screwdriver here at home too. It was kind of I mean, that's kind of a nice thing, I guess. Um, uh, the way of looking at some of that. I don't
Yeah, yeah. You just say do it because otherwise you're spending way too much money on
Yeah, it's like why
not
spend
claiming
your own
back.
money when the rental is there to uh yeah bring in income, but it's also there you can purchase things that you're going to use for it and use that income to do that. Don't just set that income aside and just let it sit in the bank account. It's not doing any good there. It's
Yeah,
kind of the way I look at it.
yeah. Awesome. And I guess what are your goals for the next 12 months in terms of growing up your rental property? Are there particular types of markets you want to invest in, or what types of buildings you want to go for? Any specific kind of goals that you're
Yeah.
going after?
Um, not not in the next 12 months. I mean, if something were to come in and the price was right, I guess right now I'm just in more residential properties,
Right.
so I'd probably look more for that just because I have experience with that. But if something was priced right and I could nab it up for the right price, definitely would not mind taking on another one.
Yeah.
At least at this point, this one here isn't too much work, so it's
Yeah.
manageable right now. So
Cool. And I guess finally, what would you say to someone who's on the fence about using Landlord Studio as a way of managing their properties or tracking their income and expenses?
I, just do it. It's so much easier. Just you put it all in there. You take a picture of your receipt, and you're done. It's I don't know. My dad doesn't do anything. He does everything. I don't even think he does the spreadsheet thing. And I'm just like, this is so much easier just this way. And even his tax professional is like, when you travel to your rental properties, are you taking the mileage off? He's like, no. And I'm like, oh, this app will
It's
almost do it
old school.
for you. Yeah, and it's I'm trying to talk him into it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but uh,
Yeah, sometimes it takes people a little bit of time because they're so
it,
used to doing it like spreadsheet or the leather bound book. I was speaking to someone last week and they had a leather bound book that they started with, and they're like, man, I just need to like use this app because it's so much better.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
Well, yeah, I really appreciate you coming in
yeah,
today, Zach. It's been awesome chatting and kind of hearing about your business. And
yeah.
yeah, so thanks everyone for listening in today. And again, hit the subscribe button below so you can get notified of each episode. And until next time, have a great week.